Hey, Norval friends, Tom Auger here, and just doing a little reflection, maybe a little practice, a little warm up or something. I've been thinking a little bit about what can we do as a group to elevate the choir even further beyond what we've been able to achieve up to this point. I've been thinking about it, thinking about the last couple of weeks of music and what would I, if we were meeting in person, what would we be working on together? And honestly, I think the biggest challenge with any virtual choir is timing and rhythm and singing in sync. And some songs are easier to do than others. The song we've got this week is going to be pretty straightforward. This is God's wondrous world. It's very and everybody knows it really well. So I expect our timing to be quite good on this one. But some of the other ones that are a bit jazzier, syncopated, and so forth, it's a bit of a challenge. So there's two things that we can be doing together to start to work on our timing and just improve overall as a group. And the first one is a group effort, which is to get aligned on when we make when as a choir, what's our philosophy around rhythm, right? And I think the rhythm involves when do we breathe and when do we make our consonant sounds mostly, right? The S's, the T's, the C's, the B's, all these sounds that cut off the vowel. The rest should be as much uninterrupted vowel as possible, right? So I think there's two things in the philosophy of how we've been singing, and I think how we continue to sing. We'll just articulate them. One is when we do have the end of a phrase and we've got a longer note, try to hold it and cut us off on the count of four, even if it's a longer note, so that we have one quarter note, one beat to take a breath in, right? So that's something I've been practicing and trying to do with you, but doing it more or less consistently for a while now. So as a choir, we know I'm going to cut you off on beat four. So world, and then the next beat. So that's something that we've been doing pretty consistently. And as long as you're sort of aware that that's how we're going to do it, then I think we should sound pretty good. If you can't, because we all have different capacities and we all take our breaths at different times. And if you find yourself running out of air before the end, you should just fade yourself out and not say that consonant at all. World. Right? I went down with my voice. I shouldn't have done that either. Whoa. Right? And so that everything else is maybe internal and you can sort of still make the motion with your tongue and lips, but you're just not vocalizing it so that we don't hear that cutoff. The other thing, of course, is with in the middle of a phrase, we want the consonant sound to come to come at the next beat. So little. So in that case, I'm holding as long as I can, and then little, right? Or if it's two words, like I don't know, little. I don't know. I'm just looking at my lyrics here. Wondrous world and world and to my listening ears. Wondrous world and to my listening ears. I'm trying to constantly let air out, constantly let those vowels out, and just interrupting them on the beat with the consonants. This is God's wondrous world and to my listening ears. Until you run out of breath, of course. So, that's something that we can be thinking about as a choir in terms of our philosophy, is trying to hold those notes and bounce off the consonants to kick off the next rhythmic piece. And then the second thing that we can be doing individually is just being really mindful of the rhythm and our intention to sing rhythmically. We get so transported by the music and we know it and we want to sing it, and we're worried about our voices or we're worried about the lyrics, and we just sing. And the music's playing and we're kind of going along to it. But if we are taking a minute to be intentional about being rhythmic, then a part of our brain has to be sitting outside observing all of this. As we're singing, as we're obsessed with the lyrics and the music and so forth, a part of our brain has to be outside listening to the rhythm. Am I on the beat? And consciously thinking about that. And this happens to me all the time. I find in my conducting videos, I'm always just a little bit behind the beat. Some of it might have to do with the recording technology that I'm using, but that's an excuse, really, if I'm being honest. I think I do sing generally behind the beat. I think most singers do, because it takes us a while for the volume. If you look at the volume waveform on my computer screen for everybody singing, it goes from quiet to loud, and that takes a moment. and it takes a fraction of a second, but it's always just a little bit behind the beat. So we naturally will sing a little bit behind the beat. So that's a tendency that all singers have, and we probably want to work toward being more on the beat, but it's part of the human vocal experience, I guess. So we still need to be, but we need to be really conscious about at least being consistent and trying to hit those beats, especially with our consonants. Okay, you ready for a little game? This is fun. I dreamed this up at night one night. Driving my wife crazy because it involves clapping. So I was just like doing this, but still, she was like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, thinking about my choir. Anyway, so we're going to do Mary Had a Little Lamb, okay? But what we're going to do is we're going to clap our hands whenever there's a T in the sentence. Okay, think about it. We're just going to do Mary had a little lamb, little lamb, little lamb. Mary had a little lamb, its fleece was white as snow. There's a few T's in there. All right, so we're going to do that together. We're going to clap on the T's. Ready? Mary had a little lamb, little lamb, little lamb. Mary had a little lamb, its fleece was white as snow. Again, Mary had a little lamb, little lamb, little lamb. Mary had a little lamb, its fleece was white as snow. So that last one was a doozy, right? White as snow. But the important thing is it's white as, not white as snow, not white as snow, white as snow. So the T is right on the beat. Its fleece was white as snow, right? Well, okay, it's halfway in between the beat, but you know what I'm saying. It's very rhythmic, and we're keeping the Y Taz. The Taz is actually T-A-S in a sense, right? All right, so that's teaching us to hold those vowels a little bit longer and to pop the consonant off the beginning of the next beat. Now let's make it even more challenging. It's a mental game. So now we're actually going to be reflecting on the lyrics. So we got to have a part of our brain outside thinking about what it is that we're doing as we're doing it. So it's really hard. We're going to do the same clapping on T's. We're also going to clap on M. You ready? I'll probably get it wrong because this is really hard. Okay, ready? Mary had a little lamb, little lamb, little lamb. Mary had a little lamb, its fleece was white as snow. Whew, I got it, but I almost forgot that Mary again. Let's try it again. So lamb, there's an M in lamb, right? Lamb, lamb. And that comes on the beat for the next beat. All right, here we go. Mary had a little lamb, little lamb, little lamb. Mary had a little lamb, its fleece was white as snow. Again. Mary had a little lamb, little lamb, little lamb. Mary had a little lamb, its fleece was white as snow. That one got me. That one got me. And eventually we do this, if you rewind and do this a few more times, you'll have memorized the rhythm, and then it won't be so hard, but then it's also not really part of the exercise, right? So that's a really interesting little challenge. If you wanted to give yourself an even bigger challenge, do it on M, L, and T. I'm not going to attempt that right now because I need to get this video off, and I'm going to mess it up too many times. But that's an interesting. Mary had a little lamb, little lamb. So that's a lot of clapping. So you can have some fun with that kind of concept, and that's teaching us to think outside about the rhythm. So hopefully you had a little bit of fun with this. Let me know in the comments. I say in the comments, but in your email reply, just let me know how you found this exercise. If it was fun, funny, or something you already knew. Anyway, always like to carry on the dialogue, and thanks so much for everything that you do week after week.